So, I have, don't know about you, but I have the Necrons Indomitus box set.
Yep.
New Necrons 2020 are here at last. And Richard.
Well, I've got Space Wolves. Primaris.
And it's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to learn about Necrons and more, then please subscribe and hit the bell button to turn on all notifications so you don't miss an upload. Right, welcome to this very special Necron Indomitus unboxing. So I'm here with Richard. If you haven't seen Richard before, he is my main gaming buddy. All through 8th edition we've been playing, and we're going to play again in 9th edition. Richard has his own channel, C M Wargames, which is linked in the description below, so check that out. We are going to unbox this here, and we are going to basically look from the Necron point of view in this video, and we're going to have a look at the data cards, have a look what we like and dislike about the data cards. And then on Richard's channel we're going to do exactly the same with Richard's box set. We're going to do the Space Marines.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so this is going to be fun.
Definitely.
Okay, so Indomitus. So we managed to pre-order ours from our local Games Workshop store, and in doing so we got some goodies, which is quite nice. So first of all we got a wristband with Warhammer written on. We've got one of the new campaign, what's it called? Crusade. We got a Crusade card, and we got some postcards as well, of which there is only one full Necron card. I think there's about 5 cards in there. One's got a Space Marine and a Necron. But yeah, we got those. We also got a badge, a Space Marine badge. And we got this little packet which has some very cool, in a very cool bag, some objective markers. They've got the little protective film on, but basically they're numbered objective markers. They're like poker chips.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
So we've got some of those each, and the coin. Yeah, Ultramarines and Necrons.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've seen this before. I'll do some pictures of these as we're talking.
I'm liking the pattern on the bag as well.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
A nice little dice bag will keep your objective markers in there if you carry tons of dice around.
Exactly. So it's a nice little goodies, and we both purchased a chapter approved, which has the grand tournament thing in as well. So we are going to talk about the data cards in the box, but first of all we need to get the box open.
Yes, definitely.
Are you really looking forward to seeing the Necrons?
I'm looking forward to seeing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, if I was to do another army, this box set would be a reason to do a Necron.
It would.
And
but unfortunately you're giving both Necron sets to me.
Yeah, and I'm doing.
And thankfully I'm giving both of the Space Marine sets to you.
My Space Wolves need a little help.
Okay, we have Games Workshop knife. Only the best here. So, here we go, let's get this cellophane off very carefully. Exciting. I know there's been probably a billion unboxings of this, but there's never been one unboxed by me. So, here we go. She's off. This is exciting. This is exciting, and also we are very lucky to have these as well.
Yes.
Because some people haven't been that fortunate.
But again, I mean, I think GW deserves them a little bit of a thing for making it made to order and going up after the scout
stuff. Yeah, they did a good job, really. I think.
Yeah, I mean they might not have got it right initially, but they got onto it pretty sharpish, and sorted their initial mistake.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, love that.
Oh,
That is awesome.
as you slide the box, you probably saw the other side, which is probably made Space Marines. Yeah, that's rubbish. Look at that, Necrons. So cool. I do like Space Marines.
Yeah, I think they look good on the base.
I like killing Space Marines
with a Necron foot on them or something.
Okay, so we have this poster, which
that's awesome, isn't it?
no, it's not awesome. It's Space Marines.
I just mean the artwork.
Yeah, it is nice. It is double-sided though, so why couldn't it have Necrons on one side?
I think they've just taken it from that the book, and that was the one they predominantly.
Yeah, but still, boo.
I think you got.
Also, I do want to put an official complaint into Games Workshop about the lit box. Because there's a massive Space Marine, there's a tiny puny Necron there.
Maybe that's what they're thinking. Because from what the book says, the Space Marines are supposed to be like hulking.
Yeah, but not that big. Okay, so we got rubbish. Let's get the rubbish out first. Rubbish. Oh, wait there, that's a dual one. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a Necron.
That's the
Royal Warden.
That's the Royal Warden.
That's the Royal Warden.
And that must be the Overlord.
And there's a guy over here which we missed. He's the Overlord. Okay, so we've got the Overlord, the Royal Warden. We're going to have a look at the data cards here briefly in a second. And then we have the Scorpec Destroyer. Yeah. We've got, oh, look at this sprue of goodness. That's the Reanimator. And I have to say, I saw the Reanimator in the Games Workshop store, or built and painted, and I was shocked by how small it was. Actually, I thought it was for some reason it just looked a lot bigger.
I think the pictures we've seen makes it look really massive, doesn't it?
Having said that, I quite like it that it's smaller, because it's going to be, I think, a bit more playable, easier to hide, etc. So, yeah. Detail is awesome though, as you would expect.
Yeah, it's just like the symbols and bits and pieces.
Yeah, there's a lot of symbols, which is obviously why there's no Necron decals in this box either. So that's pretty cool. And then we have some Warriors with the new Reaper gun, which I am going to make all of these Warriors with the Reaper guns, because I've got lots of normal flayers. And the Scarabs, those do look really nice. I'm liking those a lot.
They look pretty cool like that.
Yeah, they look, if they can be, they look realistic.
Yeah, it looks like a swarm. And the old ones were individual, just clumped on the base.
Yeah.
They actually look like a swarm running together, don't they?
Really nice. And of course there's two of those sprues just there. And then, well, another rubbishy one.
Another piece of rubbish.
And another poster. Another poster. It's the same one.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. You
It's
get
just-
two.
Yes.
Just to rub salt into the wounds, you get two of these. Okay. And then we have the Edge of Silence. Sorry?
Painting matter.
Yeah. Edge of Silence book and the rule book. Now I picked up a rule book for my buddy.
Yeah.
My Blood Angels buddy, who I'm very pleased to say is getting back into 8th edition.
And he sounded really excited.
He's quite enthusiastic, new edition, because he's struggled in 8th a little bit. So I got him a rule book, and it's basically the same, but doesn't have this cover. Has like a shiny cover. That's pretty cool cover, isn't it?
I like that cover.
Yeah. The other one says like Warhammer at the top, core rules, and this one just has the picture.
Yeah, and it says it
on the side.
Spine.
Yeah. So we got the core rule book,
I didn't want to ruin that piece of artwork.
No. And then we get another little new Warhammer novel. Okay, so we get an advertisement for the novel, and then we get the decals for Space Force.
Space Marines.
Yeah, well,
they've got Space Force
yeah.
out yet, so that's cool. Saves me trying to have to find them
Well,
somewhere else.
Do you want to buy my decals? And then we've got all of the bases. Right. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Lots and lots of bases. So let's have a look at these individual Necrons.
Yep.
And the data cards. Okay, we just tidied the table up. We've got the Necron Sprues. We've just opened up the Edge of Silence, and in there is the building instructions, which are nice new coloured artwork with all the different colours for the different bits. Oh, look at that. The first picture of the Royal Warden with his cloak.
That's, it looks pretty good, cool, doesn't it?
I think this is designed because it gives more protection rather than just like on the back. Okay, so got my work cut out there.
You're going to be stuck at your table there, painting, building and painting away.
Okay, so you get that, and then this presumably has all the data cards in. So which one should we look at first, Rich? Should we go through?
I think we go
straight from the beginning.
Straight from the beginning to.
Okay, it's all the rubbishy Space Marines.
Yeah, there will be, unfortunately.
Okay, Overlords. Let's have a look at this Overlord miniature. Here he is. Now the question is, can I get a green rod in there? No. There is nowhere to put a green rod.
No, I mean the only way, and then you're cutting the staff and that, I don't think that was any.
You could potentially put it there where the grip is, but then that's supposed to be the grip.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's not really going to happen. It's still very cool though. I do really like this. My plan is, as we've got two sets, is I'm going to build one set as is, like glue them exactly how they're supposed to be, and the other set, certainly on the characters and stuff, I'm going to try to modify them a little bit.
Pose them.
Yeah, just to make them a bit different. Okay, so the Overlords. So what we're going to do in this video particularly is we're going to choose one thing we like about each of these new units and one thing we don't like about it. I'm going to do separate reviews and videos on all of the units for Necrons anyway, so I'll do something in more detail. But the Overlord, I think it's pretty obvious what I like because I've already made a video on it. The Game Changer video, which of course is linked in the description below. But basically it's the new My Will Be Done rule, which now, according to this data card, isn't just limited to infantry. So anything that's Necron Dynasty, and that's huge.
That has to be huge. If it stays and they don't FAQ it, that is huge. I mean, I like the Relentless March.
Relentless March, yeah.
Adding one to the move and the advance. For an army that is so slow, it gives you a bit of more mobility.
The only thing obviously with the Relentless March to bear in mind, it is an aura, which if they work the same as before, you have to be within that 6 inches to have it.
Yeah, but not wholly within. So you can have one model within and get away with it. And I think the wording is still...
In the old rules, of course.
Yeah, it says there, unit within 6.
Yeah.
So it's not wholly within 6, so the whole unit doesn't... You only have to have one model within 6 inches, and it doesn't have to be the whole model, it only has to be part of that base.
Exactly.
So you've got a bit of leeway in playing with that.
Yeah.
But, 6 inches isn't great, but to get you across the board and moving across the board, because you're 4 inches normally?
5 inches.
5 inches. Yeah. You're now 6 inches, which is, I think, is very similar to a Space Marine. So you're no longer that slow across the board. You're not hyper fast like the Elder, but
especially with a smaller board as well.
I think that helps.
Yeah. So we had a look at this data card, and we concluded the thing that we don't like is either the amount of attacks that he has, which is 3, or the damage that he does, which is D3.
Yeah, I don't like the D3.
No.
It's a little swingy. I mean, on average you're doing 2, but
if he had more attacks, you could probably live with it. But with just the 3 attacks,
if you're going up against another character, or have a rule there that says against characters or vehicles, a flat 3, then it's not so bad. But because it isn't, you're not wanting him really to get him into combat. No. He's not worth it.
No. Okay. So that's the Overlord.
Yeah.
Shall we skip on now to the Royal Warden? So let's have a look at the Royal Warden mini. Who's also attached to a Space Marine 1, so we'll be breaking these off very quickly. Okay, so this is this guy. He does actually look, out of all the miniatures, he's got a pretty cool pose, doesn't he?
Yes, I mean, it just looks so brilliant, doesn't it? I mean, especially like the spines and bits that he's got there, and again, it's that nice chainmail type cloak. I love.
It's interesting now how they put it onto the arm, which I think is becoming the sort of in thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, cool model. But what about the rules?
Well, let's have a look at rules. Yeah.
Okay, so before we do the Royal Warden, we just realised we didn't do the points for the Overlord, and probably because the points aren't actually listed in this book.
No.
So we had to open up our chapter approved, and first of all, this is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I like this.
This is really good. It's got the new missions in there. It's got almost like a mini rulebook as well, and it's even got the tournament scoring sheets, which we're going to photocopy those because they could be very useful, couldn't they?
I think this is by far the best format of chapter approved book.
Yeah.
Because you've got your basic rules in there, you've got so you don't really need to take a bigger rule book. If you've got like a little summary sheet, you could stick with terrain rules, slip it in.
Terrain rules, I think I saw in here.
Yeah, so it's
and nice and small.
Yeah,
so that's
nice,
cool.
handy, and
then we looked at the points book, whatever it's called, Minotaurum Field Manual points book, and quite interesting. So we found the Necron stuff, and well, this stuff isn't actually in there on this piece.
No.
It's right at the back in the Indomitus set, so they've got their own points.
Yeah.
So the Overlords in the Indomitus set is 90.
90.
Actually, if you look at the Overlord here, it's 85.
Yeah.
So obviously the Indomitus has those particular fixed war gear options.
Which is good.
Yeah. Then of course you can add like war size and stuff, and there's separate points for those, although a war size is 0 points.
Yeah.
And judging from the Immortals, the points basically are now included, like the gun options are included in the main points. Anyway, so yeah, the Overlord is 90 points, which is
a nice,
reasonable.
It's a nice little spot, isn't it? It's not
considering what he has, best with the mind will be done. Tachyon arrow, even though once used, pretty nice to have.
I mean, the point is that all these points increases are to reset, and be a starting point, so that they can adapt from there.
Yeah. And we found out today, of course, that the Necron Codex is coming out in October. Actually, slightly longer than the rumours were saying. They were saying September, but October. So at least that gives us plenty of time to A, build and paint these, and B, to...
hopefully it also means that they've taken a little bit more care and precision with the codexes. They're not rushing them, and that they've actually maybe proofread, because it is a huge criticism that a lot of the stuff is still copy and pasted, but we have noticed from bits and pieces already in here that it's not a straight copy and paste.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen the new Dynasty codes when zoomed in, they look pretty good. And yeah, October, at least we've got time to save up, because no doubt the new models will come out at that time.
Yeah,
because they won't release the book with the new data slates in without the models, so it's all going to happen in October by the looks of it. Anyway, it is actually time to go to the Royal Warden. Okay, so Royal Warden, he's 80 points, and we've had a good look at his data card. And let's start with the bad, shall we?
Yeah, he's a straight 3+ save, no invuln.
No invuln save, and to be fair, we had to make that up.
Yeah,
because the rest of it looks pretty good, doesn't it?
I think the adaptive strategy allows one unit in your command phase to be able to fall back, shoot and charge,
and and that's 9 inches.
And that's so it doesn't have to be close.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big. And I'm loving the weapon. It's ideal against Primaris Marines or slightly tougher models with 2 damage. It's rapid fire too, so when you get down to half range, you're getting 4 shots.
He's pretty nice, isn't he? 80 points. I would definitely be looking at getting him in the army, especially if I'm going to be playing. Well, I mean, the instant thought is Destroyers, because they've lost that ability without the fly special. But I think this could be quite big on other units, like Immortals and Warriors even.
The point is, you can select any unit and put your opponent at a disadvantage against one unit.
Yeah.
And you can use it tactically to make them move away from certain units you want to.
That is the only disadvantage. It goes in your command phase,
and it's only one unit. One unit. It would have been nice if it was a 9-inch or an aura that affected a couple of units.
Yeah, but still, you can see the board. You can select one in your command phase. That unit's could have it, and then you can move back, shoot, and assault. Yeah,
you can put it on one unit, push that unit forward, and say, "Come."
Yeah. And I think, to be fair, I think our hardest choice now for Necrons is going to be the HQ slot.
Yeah,
because we actually have some pretty decent HQs now.
And you've got some. I mean, you've got Silent King coming as well. You've got the new
Illuminar.
That's pretty.
Which I am painting, guys. He is painting. Well, I've done one layer.
And then
I got distracted. Okay, so it's a thumbs up for the Royal Warden?
Yeah, I think he's a handy addition to.
Okay. Let's go over the page. Next is the Plasmanzer, which actually has had a bit of a bad rep. But first of all, let's have a look at the model. So, let's find this guy. Okay, so we found the sprue. This is the guy here. He's got no legs, which is a bit weird. I can't find the rest of him. I can find his weapon. And he's got a weapon that's actually very long.
That's massive, isn't it?
Yeah. So we found one piece of him. The other half is here we go, pointy finger, which is the only thing I don't like about him is his pointy finger. Okay, right. So I like the model.
I love the model.
He's pretty cool. He's different. But what about the rules? So let's have a look at the rules. Okay, so Plasmanzer, he is also 80 points. We've had a little chat about him because, yes, he's got a bit of a bad rep from the comments that I've seen.
Yeah.
But I think there's 2 sides to the story.
Yeah, I think he's quite useful as an anti-charging to put a little bit of fear into opponents charging units around him because of that aura on the 4+ does mortal wounds, and he's got an 18-inch ability at the end of a movement phase again to ping a mortal wound here and there. He's definitely not melee based. You don't want him anywhere near melee, and the shooting on the lance is brilliant. Again, the melee is useless, but with one attack you're not trying to.
He is a Cryptek, which they're not close combat orientated anyway. And obviously, being a Cryptek, it does mean that he can potentially hide behind one of the new terrain stones that we've got.
Yeah,
teleport things around, and he's hidden.
I mean, for me, as I said, I think the fact that you can ping a mortal wound off a unit moving up, and then the unit that is quite close in the fight phase. It's only two or three mortal wounds here and there, but it's still having an effect. And you've got if it's an enemy character.
Yeah, exactly. And
You're
he's
weakening them.
a 4+ save, which of course is not good, but he's like a normal cryptek, 4+ save, no invuln.
Yeah, you're hoping not to get him in that position.
Hopefully hiding him.
Yeah.
However, he is 80 points, and if you compare him to the Overlord, to the Warden,
you'd probably go with the
You can
Warden.
see why people are saying, yeah, you're not going to be using him.
Yeah.
But I think he is usable.
I think you've got to have a list and a clear strategy to use him.
I think the issue is, once again, it's going to be a highly competitive slot.
Yeah.
He could be a nice little surprise. I think it'd be quite a fun unit. Is he the most optimum unit for the points? Probably not.
No. But yeah, I think he's a cool looking model. And
he's very cool.
I would want to get him in a list at least once, maybe not competitively, but in practice games. And
he reminds me of like when you play your orcs, where you have like lots of different characters. They all do different stuff. Obviously the issue is that they're all like 80 points all of a sudden. When you're playing your orcs, you always have like 15 characters.
Yeah, I've got loads.
It seems like it, but they're all really cheap, aren't they? Like 40 points.
They were all reasonably priced. And it's something on with my list building. I'm realising now that it's quite expensive when having those as characters. But
if he was a lot cheaper, he'd be pretty cool to use.
Yeah,
in the back of your army, wouldn't he? But yeah,
I think if you've possibly got 80 points to spare once you've done your main list, and you're looking what else can I add, and you there's nothing that you can think of, plop him in. But he wouldn't be the first one down on that list.
No. So I think that ultimately he's not actually that bad. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
But there's potentially better.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so next is the big boy, the Scorpic Lord. Okay, Scorpec Lord, he is 130 points, this guy.
Yeah.
However, he seems to be pretty beefy.
Solid all round.
All round.
I mean, we've been discussing, and it's very hard to choose something that is a weakness.
Yeah, I mean, the best I could come up with was that he's, unless you're playing the Scorpec Destroyers, he probably isn't really worth taking just like a unit by himself, because most of his buffs are for them. But there's no different than taking a Destroyer Lord.
No.
Well, it is really, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because the Destroyer Lord, you can play, I play them with Wraiths.
Yeah.
So I'll take back that comment.
Yeah, but I mean, it's depending on how you're playing your list, isn't it? I mean, can you fit him and a Destroyer Lord in if you're taking both sets of
the thing is with the Destroyer Lord is Destroyers don't really need him, because A, they re-roll the ones to hit, and B, you've got Extermination Protocols. But I think it's, unless there's obviously, because we don't know what the new rulebook's going to have, but he obviously is very good when he's with the Scorpec Destroyers, which obviously we're going to look at next.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not really too many weaknesses. He's got good weapon skill, ballistic skill, which means even at -1, he's still going to be hitting on 3s. You do have the ability with your 4 attacks to use the Harvester, 3 attacks, put 1 attack using the Flensing Claws, and that will give you an extra 2 attacks.
I mean, I'm looking at it and saying that the Hyperphase Harvester is probably monsters and tanks because of the 3 wounds, and it's a -4 and strength 8. So you've got the ability to deal with either.
Yeah, exactly. So, and obviously he does buff the Destroyers, so if you have him and the Destroyers in range, re-roll to hit, re-roll to wounds. He's obviously got the gun, he's got the close combat weapons, 8 inches, invulnerable save.
Yeah,
so
it's only a 4+, but it's still a save.
It's pretty good, yeah. So we like him,
and the model looks pretty awesome. So.
Yeah. Not much too bad. Not much bad to say, really.
I'd find it hard to find fault with him.
Yeah, for 130 points, if you're playing Scorpec Destroyers, particularly, it's probably going to be an auto take. I would have thought.
No, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so we didn't actually look at the model. Should we do that now?
Yeah, I would.
Let's
I mean,
find
from the picture, that breastplate with a symbol and all the symbols around it.
There we go. This guy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. She's got that. I really like this idea because it harks back to the very first Necrons with that like Goliath around there. That's his body. Wow, it's quite big.
Yeah, he is.
That's his bit of body. Look at that claw. Like even an orc would be proud to have a claw like that.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
His
And
weapon.
that's a hyperphase, the hyperphase harvester.
So yeah, very very cool. I am looking forward to building him for sure.
What, the harvester reminds me a bit like of the Klingon Batleth.
Yeah, the little sword, the sword one they've got.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. So next up, the Scorpec Destroyers. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the miniature, or at least the sprue. I think the coolest thing is definitely the Plasmanzer.
Yeah.
I really like him. He looks like a mosquito.
Yeah,
And
he's quite creepy looking, isn't he?
Yeah. What do you think of the three-legged Necrons?
I like the idea. I think from the games, we've seen from them built and painted from Games Workshop, they look awesome on the table. It's how they play in reality.
I think it's quite good to have. Then we've got our normal two-legged guys.
Yeah.
Then we've got the hover stuff, and now we've obviously got the three-legged people. So it sort of makes the unit distinction quite good.
And it gives them that more mechanical, as if they've advanced more into the mechanical sort of side of things.
Okay, so rules-wise, so the Scorpec Destroyers are 40 points each, and the Plasma Sight is 15. So 3 Scorpec Destroyers, which obviously this is the Indomitus card, so we are assuming when the Codex comes out we will be able to take more in a unit.
Yeah, I think if you can't take more,
then that's the biggest
bit.
downside. I mean, we want to be taking 5 of these, don't we?
Yeah, you want 5 to 6. I mean, if you're taking 6, you that free shots from blast weapons, but they are a little bit more survivable. So but you want more than 3.
Yeah, but overall, a nice, quick, very capable in close combat.
You've got the plasma sight rolling at 1 might be a little bit, especially if you can't re-roll that one. And
I think it's the type of thing, for 15 points you probably still take it, but I would say you only use it on those circumstances you want that extra strength.
Yeah.
I mean, the +1 to the attack's nice, but I think it's the strength you'll be looking for to risk. Because if it's anything like Canoptic Spiders used to be, where you roll a 1, you take a mortal wound. Yeah. I used to always roll a 1. Yeah. Because you're thinking in your head, don't roll a 1, don't roll a 1, 1.
And I know with the crash and burn, they're not allowing a crash and burn to re-roll those. So there is every chance that you wouldn't be able to re-roll the 1 on that.
No. So it's the type of, I think it's the type of unit, just because it looks really cool.
It looks
for 15 points you'd probably be able to just squeeze it in there.
It looks really creepy. There's a film with one, he's got the 2 spinning claws, an animated one that looks, and it's quite nasty little creep. So
okay, so I mean, Scorpic Destroyers have been done quite a lot, because obviously we've had the rules out for a bit, so we'll move on to the next one, and the next one is the Cryptothralls, the
murder
buckets. Okay, so there's not much to see on the sprue.
No.
A few bits of plastic, but basically they look like that. It's probably the most unusual Necron, but the most fun one.
Yeah,
it does look pretty cool. Now, I've already covered this unit in a separate video, a whole video dedicated to this data card. However, I can confirm now that the points are exactly what I thought they were going to be, 20 points each. I would say the main disadvantage from my point of view would be you can only have 2 there. It would be nice if we could have a few more, but then you could have like 2 units of 2 or 3 units of 2 protecting a character if you really wanted to protect a character. But overall, I mean, probably one of the standout little.
So I mean, if you were having two cryptex, you can include two crypto for units, and so that's 4, and they work so well together. They protect the cryptex. The cryptex buffs their weapon skill and ballistic skill, because on their own the ballistic skill is not that brilliant. They double their attacks as well, and that's quite nice. They got a pistol weapon, which is handy, and it's 2, so that's 4 shots from that unit at strength 5 -2, 1 damage. And the fact that you can't target a cryptek whilst they're within 3 inches of him, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus they get 3 extra attacks if they're within 6 inches.
So brilliant if you're coming up against a Vindicator assassin. The assassin can't touch.
Target. And to be fair, I think this is quite a needed unit, because I mean I played cryptek quite a lot, and when they get targeted, they're easy to kill.
Yeah,
they are easy to kill. So I like these a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a nice cheap bodyguard.
Yeah.
That has a little bit of bite.
So next up is the Canoptic Reanimator. So let's find out how many points these are. Richard, what do you think? What's your guess? What's your guess?
I'm saying 135.
The Reanimator is 110. Now there's been a lot of talk about this unit being way overpriced for what it does. However, like I said, he is actually quite small. He's maybe smaller than a lot of people thought. He's going to be quite hideable.
Yeah.
Richard likes it.
It's that Scarab reanimation beam. I mean, that's another extra unit, and it doesn't have to be that particularly close.
No.
So to get reanimation on the 4th or whatever it's going to be.
Once again, I've made a video already about this unit, this data card that Going to Action already released, and one of the biggest things that people were saying was, well, it's just going to be targeted and killed very easily. However, like I said, it is actually quite small, and it's small enough that you are actually going to be able to hide this thing quite easily. This amongst your units at the back.
But it's not going to be killable by. It's going to be hard, because small bolt pistols and small arm fire, strength 4, are going to need 5s to wound it. So it's not particularly easy. It will die especially to tons of shots. But I think being clever with it, and you do have to be clever.
I think that's the thing. You've got to be clever with it, and the fact that it's not as big as I thought. I must admit, I don't know why. I thought it was huge, but it's a nice size.
Yeah.
It's a nice size.
Another thing that I like is the monster keyword for it.
Yeah.
You now put one of your characters next to it, and it's not. You don't have to worry about having the 3 models, because as long as they're next to it, got a vehicle or a monster within that range, they're untargetable. So again, it's taking fire away from your buffing unit.
It's like anything, you've just got to pick the bones out of the things, haven't you?
And again, I mean, if you add the Overlords +1 to movement, that's another 9-inch move.
On where was it? We had him earlier.
Was it that one?
Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's the leg. So it's quite slender as well.
Yeah. So you've got. It doesn't necessarily have to have a big footprint.
No, exactly.
It can be quite a slim type of building, like one of your obelisk, smaller obelisks. Yeah, I think that would probably be hidden behind that pretty well.
And it's also another very cool model, isn't it? It is very cool.
I think they've done. I don't know who the designer was, but the design team have outdone themselves with these new models, haven't they?
They do look awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which again is the Necron Warriors, which I think I've already covered this one.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Warriors are warriors. The weapon is pretty cool, the new one,
We now know that the Sotec special rule
gives you
18 inches,
gives you an extra
fire.
4 inches. Yeah, so it's a little longer, and with a smaller board size, that's going to help.
Reroll 1 for RP automatic on these guys.
That's got to be good, isn't it?
We used to have to pay 2 CPs to get reroll the 1.
So now that reroll 1's stratagem might be useful on something else. And I like the fact that you can have 20 in a unit. I think you're probably wanting to run them in units of warriors in units of 20 to make them more survivable.
120 for 10.
Yeah, so 12 points a year. It's not bad. I think the crux of this, and what's going to be big for all your army, is that reanimation protocol.
Yeah, absolutely.
That has to be. I think it has to be your command in your command phase.
Rolled on October.
You, even if the whole unit's wiped, you still get a roll.
That's what we need.
That's what you need. Otherwise, it's still useless.
Yeah. The only way you can overcome that is, like I was saying earlier, is basically if you make it an after save.
Yeah.
Then that takes away the
It becomes a feel no pain, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not. That's not what that.
We've
that
never.
is.
Yeah, it's always been at the start of your turn, basically. So that's your warriors. We don't really need to look at the sprue, do we?
No, I think haven't they? They put battle damage on these.
Yeah, there's some heads without battle damage and some with it.
I think you'd probably mix a unit, wouldn't it?
Probably a mixture, or maybe
one unit with and one unit without.
I'm thinking, because I've obviously got lots of the normal old warriors.
Don't some of the bodies also have?
Yeah, they've got battle. I'm just going to go full out battle damage with the Reapers on these guys.
I think it's a pretty cool idea to show that they've
been up close and personal a few more times.
Yeah, I think it actually makes it more realistic on the battle on top tabletop.
So that's your warriors, and then of course last is the scarab swarms. So let's have a look at the points. So I believe they're 15 points each, and 15 points. So they have gone up slightly, however they're a little bit better now, aren't they?
They used to be, when they hit on the 5, they
wound anything on a 5.
That's what it used to be.
Yeah.
But now
on a 6 to hit.
On the 6 to hit, it's a hit and an automatic wound.
Yeah.
So I think that could be slightly better.
Well, definitely, because you've got more dice to roll to get those 6s than when you're wounding as well, because you've already missed with some dice.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, apart from maybe one game, which was when I played Nick with his Imperial Knights, I don't think I've ever had any. I don't think I've ever been wounding on 6s. There's always been 5s anyway with the scarabs normally. So. And
I think, what were they point wise before?
100. They were 130. Well, no, because you can only have 9. They were 13 points each.
So they've gone up 2 points. That's not bad. And again, brilliant mortal wound screen. Yeah. Because you do have problems screening against mortal wounds, not even at 15 points, and the fact that they've just got a hell of a lot better in combat with that automatic wounds on 6s.
4 wounds now. There used to be 3. Used to be 3 wounds.
Yeah, so
they're 4 wounds. So they've gone up, but they're definitely better at hitting.
Yeah,
and you've got extra wound
because you're still going to hit. And you're still going to get a wound roll. It's just the fact that the 6s are an auto wound. Yeah. So you're going to get maybe two or 3 auto wounds. And
then my dice would be like 15.
Yeah, some way you roll something.
The data card here, of course, is only 3 to 6, but that's because it's from this set, and you only got 6. So hopefully. I'd love it to go back to how it used to be, 10.
Yeah.
Because they dropped down to 9 a few editions ago.
Yeah, but they're smaller units, but that does mean you could possibly get an extra unit in a cost rather than just having the bigger units. And 3 to 6, isn't too bad.
Maybe you should only be taking 5 anyway.
Yeah, be with a new blast balls if you want to be cute, and they the last time we had blast weapons, they were susceptible to blast.
They were,
not this time round, which is good.
And double toughness used to be, just instant death they used to be.
Yeah, so there's an improvement there, I think.
That's it. So, well, that's good. And I've got 2 sets of these, which of course my next task is to build and paint them. And then that's going to be your task too, because once that's done, Richard and I are going to have an Indomitus box set game, and that will be fun.
Yes,
so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it too.
So don't forget to check out Richard's channel if you want to see me unboxing the Space Marines, or Richard unboxes Space Marines. Then there's a link in the description below. Check it out. And here are some of my other, don't know where they're going to be, some of my other Necron 9th edition videos. Thanks for watching, and beam me up. Thanks for watching. That was some like years ago.
Yeah, Retro Nick.